Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Today I'll be talking about Flatter Spray, the Jaybird Quilts Tasty Table Runner, Allison Glass Diving Board Fabrics. The book review will be for Quilts with Tula and Angela. I'll introduce you to my new Fall 2017 dies for Sizzix, and this week's giveaway will be for Heidi Boyd Whimsy Kits. Okay, just as a friendly reminder, everything that I talk about during today's chat is linked to in the description. So if there's anything you're curious to find out more from the notions, the fabrics, or any of the projects, just check the link in the description and you'll find more information there. So I just want to say hello to everybody that's jumping on the chat. Hi Karen, Dawn, Tamara, Nicole, Valerie, Steph, Paula. A lot of familiar faces every week, so thanks so much for joining me. So to kick off, Sewcial Sunday is my favorite portion, and that's the notion of the week. And today I'm talking about Flatter Spray. So this is a non-starch spray. It comes in a lot of different scents, also unscented if you prefer unscented. So my favorites are, I like the Pineapple Grove, which is what I have right now, and I also like the Fig, but there's other scents available. And this is basically a spray that you spray on the fabric before ironing, and you can either use a steam iron or a dry iron, and it flattens the fabric, removes any static, and gives it a nice smell if you're using the scented products. So I go through about a bottle every couple months, and I use it while I'm prepping my fabrics, especially for a bag. So before I attach the interfacing, after the pieces are cut out, I spray some of the flatter on the fabric, on the wrong side of the fabric, hit it with my iron, and then it's good to attach the interfacing. So again, this is the Flatter non-starch spray, and that's my favorite notion of the week. Okay, so if you happen to miss this past Thursday's Facebook Live, I was working on table runner project, and this was the Jaybird Quilts Tasty Table Runner, and I just wanted to show you. I haven't worked on it since then, but this is what I came up with for the table runner. So I'm a really big fan of using rainbow fabrics, and this is from Tula Pink's out of print fabric line called Birds and the Bees, and I had these fabrics cut out for about 5 years in these particular pieces, so I figure I might as well get working on this for Stitched In with Sarah, which was this past Thursday. And this is ending up a little bit shorter than the table runner in the pattern. It's about 12 inches shorter, and I wanted to use it for, even though there's borders to it that I still have to finish, I wanted to use it for a mini quilt on my wall, so that's why I made it a little bit shorter, but hoping to finish up this table runner sometime during the week. So that's basically what I've been working on, besides my new patterns, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And the new fabric that I've added to my stash this week is Allison Glass Diving Board Fabrics. And these are fabrics that are mostly blues and reds, which is really nice to have to add to my stash. This is, let me show you this particular print. So I'm showing images in the overlay of all of the fabrics from the fabric line. So here's a great mermaid print with octopus. And I also like this Kraken print. This is a really nice shade of yellow and red. Here's one of the more detailed prints from the line. This is sort of a whimsical sea print. And as always, I really like Allison's fabrics because she has a lot of what I call blender fabrics. So they're monochromatic, so it's one color in addition to white. And I'm a really big fan of using solids in my quilts, and so I really like Allison's fabrics. She also has lines of fabrics called sun prints, which are also blender type fabrics, but I like using these in projects because you can cut them up and you're not cutting up, say, like a large squirrel. These are really smaller motifs, and these are great to use for quilts. So I'm curious, let me know in the comments, do you like stashing a lot of blender fabrics similar to these, or do you prefer large scale prints? Like for example, for quilts, I like a lot of blender fabrics, and for bags, I like the large scale prints. So let me know in the comments what types of things that you frequently stash if it's something like this. Okay, so my question this week that I want to know, and let me know in the comments, but Halloween's coming up, so I'm curious if you are sewing some Halloween costumes this month, or maybe you've sewn some in the past if your children are grown. But I have great memories growing up. My mom always made our Halloween costumes. So I have 2 younger brothers, and one of my favorite Halloween costumes that I remember from one of my brothers is my mom made a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume for him. So obviously it was the turtle with the mask, and he had really big stuffed muscles on his chest. So that's one that I remember. One of my favorite costumes that my mom made me. So first there was She-Ra. If you're a child of the 80s, maybe you remember the He-Man and the She-Ra cartoons that were on TV. But I had a She-Ra costume, which was probably one of the least intricate of the costumes that my mom made. So it had a tulle skirt. There were sequined wristbands and sort of a headband, a crown type thing. And a sword. I had a sword too, a plastic sword. But another costume that I remember is a horse and rider, a girl riding a horse. So the upper part of my body was the rider, and then my feet served as the hind legs of the horse, and there were stuffed, around my middle was the actual sewn project. So it was the body of the horse and then the front legs of the horse. So that was probably one of my favorite costumes. And my mom also made a pumpkin costume, which was again around the midriff of the person, the Halloween jack-o'-lantern, and that was probably the one that we reused the most. But it's great looking back on those pictures and seeing the Halloween costumes. I have to admit, as a mom myself, I don't remember making any Halloween costumes for my kids. Every October there was a trade show that I went to, and it was always the last weekend in October, and either it was during Halloween or the day I would get home would be Halloween. And so for some reason I just couldn't muster the energy to sew the Halloween costumes for my kids that might wear them for maybe 2 hours. And being from Chicago, most Halloweens are really cold, and so I just couldn't bear to think of them covering up their handmade Halloween costumes with their winter coats. And so I admit I'm a bad mom in that aspect, that I haven't made them any Halloween costumes. But now that they're getting a little older, they're sort of phasing out of the Halloween costumes to begin with. But I'm curious, let me know in the comments if you've made any Halloween costumes in the past. What was your favorite, or what was the most intricate costume to make? Maybe it was a Mickey Mouse or a princess. Let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious to find out what you all have been making for Halloween. My book review this week is Quilt with Tula and Angela, and I actually have a signed copy I bought from the website ihearttulapink.com, which again is linked to in the description. But this book is 17 quilt patterns and at least 2 or 3 machine quilting templates provided by Angela Walters. So Angela quilts all of Tula Pink's quilts for her via the long arm. So in the overlay in your screen, you're seeing some pictures of the quilt patterns that are in the book. So there's a huge variety. Each chapter is segmented by color, so red, green, warm colors, and so on. And I really like Tula Pink's projects that she uses in her books, even past books, because they're all simple piecing. So even if there's a block with a curve, it's sort of a gentle curve, not a small curved block. So even though it's a curve, it's really easy to sew. And she deals with a lot of straight edges in her quilt patterns to begin with. But there's an area in the book for each chapter choosing fabric. So Tula will give her inspiration for choosing the colors and the swatches of fabric for those particular quilt projects. So this is one of my favorite quilts in the book, just because I really love curves. So this one right here. And there's also a great log cabin quilt that I've been meaning to make. Let me find that one for you right here. So this one's got a lot of neutral fabrics in it. This is the quilt over here. And another favorite of mine is the hood, which is really cute house blocks in vertical and horizontal format. So a really adorable house quilt. But anyway, this book is called Quilt with Tula and Angela. I think it's a great value because there's 17 quilt patterns in the book, and again, for every skill level, because there's a lot of straight piecing in the book as well. But if you're interested in a signed copy, the link is in the description where you can find the copy of the book, signed by both of the authors, actually. Okay, so in place of my sewing tutorial video this week, I wanted to introduce you to my new Fall 2017 dies for Sizzix. So I have 2 new dies coming out in about a month. I have a wallet die and a train case die. And I'm really excited about these projects. The last projects were really great, but I tried to step it up a little bit with these 2 projects, and there were a lot of requests for a wallet die. So I tried to fulfill that need for by coming out with the wallet die for Sizzix. But here's a really short video introducing the 2 new dies, and you can see what the projects look like. Hi, I'm Sarah Lawson of Sew Sweetness. I'm so excited to reveal my Fall 2017 dies for Sizzix. I have the wallet, which can be used as a wallet, of course, but can also hold art supplies or makeup and brushes. My train case is perfect for holding anything you can think of. Sewing supplies, toys, really anything. The Fall 2017 dies will be available at your favorite quilt shop in November. Okay, so those were my 2 new Fall 2017 dies for Sizzix. I hope you liked them. Again, they're not out for another few weeks, but if you're interested, I have them up on my website right now as pre-orders, and as soon as I get my stock in, I'll ship all the orders out, and you can see more information on the dies. Again, link in the description. So I want to go through some of the comments because I saw a lot of good ones over here. Karen said, can't wait for your new dies. Spent my afternoon using my new Big Shot Plus and box pouch die. So thanks, Karen. I'm glad you've been enjoying the die. And I often get questions on which machine would be a good starter machine for using with my dies. And the Big Shot Plus is a great one. You can find it on Amazon for, I think, a little over $150, and it comes with the cutting pads. So everything you need to get started, you just need to choose your dies, which are sold separately. But the Big Shot Plus is a great option for using with my dies. So let's see what some of the other questions are. Let's see. Kathleen said, I sewed a Rufus costume for my son-in-law and sent it to him in Germany this year. He loves it. My daughter will be Wendy and my granddaughter will be Tinkerbell. So yeah, that was in response to my question about Halloween costumes. I wanted to see what everybody's been making. Diane said, my favorite costume that my mom made me was a flapper costume. It had fringe that shook and shimmered and was magenta in color. I made all of my kids' costumes. I've always wanted to have a flapper costume. It sounds really intricate, but pretty, and I think as an adult I could use it multiple times. So that's a great idea for an adult Halloween costume as well as for a little girl. Tamara said, I made a green Power Ranger costume for my son, now almost 29. The quilted gold lame shields that went over it about did me in. Yeah, some Halloween costumes are more difficult than they seem. My daughter for a few years was asking me for a bear costume with like really long fur to it, and that just seemed to me in my head, it seemed like it was going to be difficult, so I declined at the time, but she really wanted some sort of furry animal costume for Halloween. Let's see. Diane and Karen said that they watched my videos on the wallet die. So Sizzix already has the wallet die instructional videos up on their YouTube channel in case you're curious how that project comes together. And Tucker said, is there a special Sizzix cutter for the dies, or can you use the same machine that's used for paper crafting? Yeah, Sizzix doesn't have a separate cutter for fabric or for paper. The same machine that will cut the paper will also cut the fabric, which is really nice because you don't have to have multiple machines. And I know a lot of people use the machines for scrapbooking as well as for cutting fabric. Tamara, I know, has made me some great cards and a gift bag using paper cutting dies, and they'll also cut fabric out as well, which is really nice. Okay, so if you've been with me last week for Facebook Lives, you know I've been showing some of my new Minikins project. And if you haven't, Minikins is a series of 12 patterns that I have coming out on October 23rd. So next Monday, so about 8 days away. And I'm really excited. So it's 12 patterns plus videos. and they're all for small accessory projects. They're all 15 steps or less, so really quick projects. If you're sewing them for Christmas gifts or for craft fairs, they'll come together really quickly, and they would be great to sew them assembly line style, the same step at the same time for multiples of them. So this is the desktop cubes. So this is the fastest project of the bunch. It doesn't need any zippers. Most of the other projects need one zipper, but the desktop cubes come in 3 different sizes. One of my pattern testers made the size large, and she said that it fits 3 jelly rolls. So this one's the large. Here's the medium one right here. And I used really well-loved fabrics from my stash. So these are seed packet fabrics that I really love. And the small is the first one that I made. The small is great for holding pens or pencils on your desktop. And this is my favorite size of the bunch. And as you could see, they're all nesting. And these come together really quick and all straight edge sewing, so an easy project. But again, these are minikins coming out October 23rd. And if you're not already signed up for my newsletter, make sure you sign up for it. Links in the description, and you'll be the first to hear about when the minikins comes out if you're looking forward to getting those patterns. So there's a few more other questions coming through. Melissa wanted to know, I'm new to all this, what are dies? So this is X dies. I don't have any handy with me, but it's a machine with a roller, and you roll the die. It's a foam covered pad with blades that cut out the specific project. And my particular dies, the die cuts out the fabric and interfacing needed to make the whole project. So I have a box pouch, the wallets coming out, so it'll cut out all the fabric and interfacing needed to make the project. And what's nice about the Sizzix machine, and it's not even a machine, it's just a tool, because it's just basically a hand crank that you turn the die and the fabric through, and there's a roller that cuts it out. But it's really nice because for some of these projects I could spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour cutting out all of the fabric and interfacing needed for the project, but the die cuts it out in about 2 or 3 seconds, so it's really fast. You can cut multiple layers of fabric, I think up to 8 layers of quilting cotton, so it's really handy to have around. Cheryl wanted to know, will you publish patterns for the coin purse as paper or PDFs? I have an AccuQuilt Go, so cannot purchase another cutter. I don't have plans right now to publish the patterns for the coin purse as a separate pattern. I might in future. I was hoping to just for now have it as the die, but you never know. I might publish it as a pattern or tutorial in the future for the coin purse. Claire, it said in the comments, minikins and NBA season mean a great week coming up. I love the new wallet die. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it would be a great idea to have the basketball game going and working on the minikins. I think you could probably finish a few in the time that that basketball game would be on for, because they're so quick. Let's see. Terry says, I wish you would have a whole segment showing your patterns. Actually, if you're interested in seeing more of my patterns, check back on Thursdays. So I have a show called Stitchin' with Sarah. I have interviews. I have customer appreciation photos. So I'll be showing photos that people have made from my patterns. Actually, when the minikins comes out next week on Sewcial Sunday, I'll be having a video for showing all 12 of the new patterns. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, make sure you watch next Sunday, and I'll be showing all 12 of the minikins in great detail. All right. Yes, Melissa says hanging out for minikins. Yeah, Melissa, that's on the chat. Melissa is one of my pattern testers, and she pattern tested all 12 of the minikins projects, and she's using her finished projects for her Christmas craft mart that's coming up soon. So again, great quick projects for Christmas or for craft fairs. All right, let me see. All right, so the last thing I have left is the giveaway for the week, and this is a great one. My friend Heidi sent me giveaways for her wool felt projects, and this particular one is called Whimsy Kit. So it contains the polyfill, the wool felt, the floss, everything needed to make the entire kit. And Heidi actually sent me some finished kits to show on Facebook Live. So this is a really cool kit with 2 squirrels, and they live in an acorn house, and they come out of the acorn house. They're made from wool felt and they're stuffed, so these are adorable. There's lots of other designs available. Most of them are woodland creatures, but this is one of the kits. Another kit is for embroidered tea towels. So this kit contains the tea towel, the stabilizer, iron-on transfer for the image for the project, and embroidery floss. And again, Heidi sent me the tea towel, and this would be great for a Christmas gift. And because it has the stabilizer on there, you don't necessarily need to embroider this in the hoop. You can just go ahead and start stitching out your project. If you prefer to buy the hoop, you can, but it's not included in the kit. So the kit is just a nice way to have every single thing included to make the project. The third item for this week's giveaway is Whimsy Stitches, which is a hooped project. So this particular one does include the hoop. So it's got the hoop, the background fabric, the wool felt to make the project for these adorable loons. So it's a loon mama and 2 babies, and the embroidery floss. And I think the great thing about kits is you get just exactly what you need to make the project, and you don't have tons of extra. So you don't have to buy different colors of floss and have about 3/4 of the floss left over and leftover fabric. You have just enough to make the project, and the hoops included. And this particular one's my favorite. I really love this hooped art. It's a really quick project to come together. There's no sewing needed. It's just all hand sewing, and the embroidery stitches stitch down the wool felt. So this one's really cute. I'm looking forward to making some of these myself, actually. I got a really cute one with a gnome husband and wife on it. So that one's really cute as well. If you're interested in seeing more of the Whimsy Kits designs, click the link in the description and it'll take you to Heidi's website. I had a request to show that little squirrel kit one more time. So here's the squirrel. He fits inside the acorn house. And here's the squirrel mama. So this one's really cute. And yeah, these come together really quick. All hand sewing, so this is nice to take with you if you're traveling on an airplane, on a bus somewhere, especially over the holidays. And these are just really cute. I think I would make one and keep one on my desk, just something pretty to look at. But anyway, this giveaway for Heidi's 3 kits, all you have to do is answer my giveaway question to be entered into the giveaway, and this week's giveaway will be chosen, the winner will be chosen this upcoming Saturday at the end of the day. And all you have to do to enter the giveaway is let me know in the comments if you like sewing seasonal projects. So for example, pillows or quilts for your house, anything. If you do like sewing seasonal projects, what is your favorite holiday to sew for? So maybe it's Halloween, what's coming up, Christmas. Let me know in the comments if you like seasonal sewing, what's your favorite holiday to sew for, and I'll choose one lucky winner at the end of the day this Saturday. All right, so I hope to see you again next week for Sewcial Sunday. Again, I'll be showing my full-length video introducing you to all of my Minikins projects coming out on October 23rd, so be sure not to miss next Sunday. And it'll be 5 p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday.